So, what did you miss at Jubilee today? Well, you missed our celebration of Christ the King, or Reign of Christ Sunday. You missed that time, and we acknowledge that we struggle with the language, but that we're afraid if we let go of Christ the King, even though it can somehow feel to some as if we are diminishing other faiths or other ways of understanding God and our relationship to God. If we let go of it for expediency or political correctness, then we hand it over to those who would use it as a club, when in fact we're meant to use it as a point of struggle. We're supposed to wonder what it means when we call somebody Lord or when we imagine somebody King, that we recognize that in every time and every place, in every culture, in every political situation, we find new ways to talk about God and to talk about our relationship to God and what it means to be in relationship to each other and to the one who is divine. And so we embrace that today. We embraced Christ the King. We embraced Jesus the shepherd and the lamb. We embraced the one who loves and the one who demands. And I suppose in that vein we listen to the passage from Matthew where Jesus tells us of that judgment, and the sheep and the goats are divided, and we are reminded that we have done well when we have fed Jesus when he was hungry and clothed the naked Jesus and visited the Jesus in prison. And when asked, when did we ever do that? Jesus reminds us that whenever we have done that to the least, we have done it for him. And whenever we have left out the least, we have also left out him, that we have left out God. And Etienne preached today quite powerfully on that story, and imagine Jesus as the manager who calls us to a performance review. And it's daunting and it's frightening because there's so much to do and we seem ill-equipped to do much of it. But as Etienne preached and unwrapped the story and invited us into it, we discovered new points of connection. We discovered assurance that we need not be afraid of the judgment. And he invited us to open up our minds to what it means to be the least. How sometimes we can be the least, even when we think we're the most. And that perhaps really in God's kingdom, nobody is the least. That we are all brothers and sisters. We are all receivers of grace and distributors of love. Anyway, it was a terrific sermon and a good gathering for the community. And I invite you to consider what that might mean to you. What it means to be the least. What it means to love God. To clothe the naked and feed the hungry and visit the sick and to visit those in prison. And to recognize that as we do that for even those that we would imagine to be the least in society, we do those things also for God. And sometimes we discover the least is also us. Anyway, things to think about, and I really hope that we get to see you next Sunday, the beginning of Advent, as we prepare for Christmas. God bless.